Best man, I get to make the first speech here, talk about Chris a little bit. I've known this guy for pretty much my entire life. Someday, probably 20 plus years ago, we met. Haven't been able to get rid of you since. And I've tried, but, you know, both of his parents were cops, and it's so hard to make a second accident. We tried. I got a lot of good memories of Chris when he was younger. A lot of good childhood memories. One of my favorite is we used to bike down to the boulevard. Remember that, Chris?
Oh, yeah.
All the time. And this was not a small thing. We went down there to visit probably the baseball card shops, I think, at the beginning. You know, we lived up on Columbia Drive, and those of you that don't know it, it is this steep hill. I mean, if it were any steeper, it wouldn't be called a hill, it'd be called a cliff. You definitely risk life and limb going down this hill on a bike. No question about it. We'd go down Columbia Drive, we'd cut over to Center Street, and we'd go through Castro Valley and end up on the boulevard. And we would make our rounds. We'd go to all the card shops. I think there was like Clay's Comics, there was this one in the Ice Creamery, a little shack called Wayne's World of Cards, I think.
Yeah.
Remember those?
Yeah.
We would consider very carefully all of our purchases, what we wanted, and then we'd blow all of our money. Every time. Every time. That's how it worked. And then came the hard part. Of course, we had to go back up. And that was a couple miles going straight up these ridiculous hills. I mean, it was a daunting task, believe you me. And we did it all the time. And Chris was always there. And you know, the thing is, I don't think Chris always wanted to go, but he did anyways, because he was a good friend, and he always went. You know, Chris, he hasn't always had it easy. He's had to work real hard in his life to get to where he is now. He's had a lot of crappy jobs, not getting paid what he should be paid. He's had to put up with a lot, and more than his fair share of bad luck. And throughout it all, he always kept a real positive attitude, was always able to persevere and get through it. No matter who took advantage of him. Speaking of taking advantage of him, I feel I'm obligated to mention perhaps ex-girlfriends at this point. Wow, Chris. Definitely a lot of girls that took him for granted and didn't appreciate him. And I think that's why we were especially happy to see Rose come into his life. Because ever since, I mean, we have seen a real change in Chris. He has been so happy. And I really wanted to thank you for that. Because, you know, he's my good friend. And so, you know, I hope you appreciate that and understand that you have a hard worker, a good man, and a real good guy as a husband. So, a toast to the bride and groom. Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers. To you people.
Alright, now it's my turn to play.
Hooray.
Or not. So, I haven't known Chris as long as Ted has. I met Chris my freshman year of high school. In choir.
Just be glad it's not as long.
And Chris was always there for me. You know, when I needed to talk, after he got his driver's license, when I needed to get out of my parents' house, when I needed a ride home and was sick and had a headache, and he was worried about me, you know, throwing up in his dad's truck, he still drove me home. There was some incident with a choir robe at some point, and I don't really remember what happened, but I know it ended up moldy. You know, it was his dad's truck, and it was mine, and I had to pay for it, but that's okay. Over the years, through the craziness that I've been through in my life, Chris has been a constant, true friend. And he's done the internet thing before. And so this time around, my first question was, well, you've exchanged pictures, right? He said, yeah. And I said, well, when are you going to meet her? He goes, oh, well, she's coming down. Which made me happy because the last time he went up, and it was all bad. And he said, I want you to come to dinner. I want you to meet her. And so I gathered up my bouncing 3-year-old, and we went out to dinner. And I spent about 5 minutes talking to Rose. And I turned around, and I looked at Chris, and I said, and I quote, if you don't marry her, I'll fucking kill you. Because I knew that this time, even though he had had horrible, terrible, disgusting luck with women, that this one was the gem, and she was going to be the one that was going to be there. Now Rose, in the past like year, I've had a pretty rough time, and Rose has always been there. She has never failed to pick up the phone to ask me how I am. She has never failed to offer for help. They have taken me out to dinner and made me laugh. They have both gotten me out of my life at times that I really needed to just forget. They are two of the dearest friends that I have, and I am more than happy to see them here today, happy and married, despite the fact that I really thought I'd get married first. So, here's to you guys.
Yay!
I love you both more than I can even tell you.
Thank you, Maura. Love you too.